What's up, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Sports Picks. Brian and I are going to have a great show for you this Friday and get you ready for the betting weekend. Brian, it's good to see you, buddy. How we doing?
Happy Friday, brother. Ready to go here. We got some little tasty NBA card. Got a couple UFC fights I like tomorrow, and let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We got a nice little weekend here, and we'll jump into that right out of the gate. But first, want to let everybody know, welcome into A to Z Sports Picks. I'm Alan Bell of CBS Sportsline, alongside Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. A to Z Sports Picks is brought to you every Tuesday and Friday by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Make sure everybody download the BetMGM app. Do it right now. If you use promo code A to Z Sports, you receive a risk-free bet of up to $600. I've used it. I've done it. It's fantastic. Legitimately, it is the easiest bet that you'll make all weekend because you know it's coming right back if you lose. That is BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. But, Brian, our whole plan here is to make sure that nobody loses that bet. So, everyone, visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Must be present in the state of Tennessee. For gambling problem support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. So, like I said, Brian, first off, you're looking tremendous as always, buddy. It's good to see you. We got a nice little board here this weekend. I'll kind of run through some of the games of what we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and feel free to stop me wherever you see something that you like, and we'll just kind of break it down. So, I mean, tonight we've got some nice NBA games, Clippers at 76ers. We got the Grizzlies at the Bulls, Knicks at Mavs. We've got the Braves at Cubs, Dodgers at Padres in Major League Baseball. Saturday, we've got UFC Fight Nights coming back at it again. We got the Capitals at Flyers, the Nashville Predators going to the Carolina Hurricanes. We've got Panthers at Lightning, Braves at Cubs, Grizzlies at Bucks Saturday night. Sunday, we've got a NASCAR race, the Toyota Owners 400. We got a couple hockey games, Capitals at Bruins. Braves again are playing at the Cubs, finish off that series. And we got a Dodgers at Padres game, the Nets at Heat. So I just listed off a ton there, man. What do you think? What catches your eye?
Well, just a couple of injury notes for those looking at the Clippers at 76ers. Kawhi is questionable, so we don't know on him. Philly favored by 3. Dwight Howard has been upgraded to probable for the 76ers. And the Grizzlies at the Bulls, the Grizzlies still have those same injuries. Melton has been out. And Winslow is out, and obviously Jaren Jackson still has yet to play this year. But Brandon Clark's questionable tonight. And for the Bulls, big injury, Zach LaVine, their top scorer, one of the top, top 7 or 8 scorers in the league. He's going to be out for the next 3 or 4 games. So that's a big injury for the Bulls. I haven't played the Grizz. I do have them as a part of my money line parlay. We'll get to it in a little while. I do lean their way. If Brandon Clark were to get upgraded, I'd probably take them if it's still available at 3.5. And as for the Knicks and the Mavs, the Knicks, Alec Burks, who is having a career year, he is out tonight, and Nerlens Noel is questionable, which is big because their starting center, Mitchell Robinson, broke his foot a couple weeks ago and is out for the season. So there's just a couple injury notes on those 3 games you mentioned for tonight.
Nice. I would definitely appreciate that. You're right. I mean, you broke it down earlier Tuesday. We were talking about NBA injuries, et cetera, things like that. And we're definitely in that mode now where, not only we have teams that, say whatever we want, they're tanking. We've got injuries across the board. And, there's also, rest days, whatever you want to call it, load management. It's incredibly important to pay attention to those. Now, Saturday, we've got a UFC Fight Night. We had one last weekend. We have one this weekend. Break it down for us a little bit. Like, what do we have? What's the card look like? And what are some of the bets that you're looking at?
Okay, so in the co-main event, Jeremy Stephens is moving back up to lightweight. He went 8-8 in the 155-pound division early in his career. He's been at featherweight, which is 145, for the last, 4 or 5 years. He's been in a bit of a funk here lately. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights with 1 no contest. However, those fights have been against the best of the featherweight division. Jose Aldo, former champ. Zabit, I believe Zabit is ranked either 3rd or 4th in the 145 division. Yair Rodriguez, that was the fight of the night. He's ranked in the top 5. And Calvin Kattar just fought Holloway in a main event, and Cater's a top 5 guy. So Stephens is fighting Drakkar Klose. Drakkar Klose he's only faced one guy in his whole career that's been ranked, and he lost by early second round knockout his last time out. So Stevens had missed weight his last fight at 145. He's going back up to 155, so he doesn't have to do the strenuous weight cut. And I think he's gonna be a lot better at 155. And he has defeated 3 former champions. He's defeated Renan Barão, Rafael dos Anjos, and Gilbert Melendez. He's lost to former champions in Pettis, Aldo, Edgar, and Holloway. He's also lost to Cerrone and Oliveira, who Cerrone's fought for the title, and Oliveira's about to fight for the title.
Cowboy.
So he has faced everybody. Cowboy, yes. He has faced all the big names throughout his career, whereas Drakkar Klose's best wins are over Lando Venata and Bobby Green, who I don't even know if those guys have 500 records in the UFC. So it's a huge step up in class for Klose, a step down in class for Stevens, and he doesn't have to do the weight cut. I think Stevens rolls through him, minus 125 at last look. I'll check that again here in a second, but yesterday it was minus 125. As long as it's minus 30, minus 135 or less, I like Stevens a lot. If you want to get neat, cute, whatever, any of the props for him to win by knockout,
yeah,
I'm all for it. Maybe just a little taste, but it'll be plus money. And I'll look those exact numbers up here in a second.
Yeah, well, I was going to say,
Right.
I mean, after everything that you just ran through, and then those odds are, minus 125 to win the fight. I mean, it's honestly, it's pretty good. I mean, I've seen much worse. For kind of how you lay out, a fighter that, you're not saying that, it's a lock that, that he's going to win, but yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good price. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good price. Yeah. So, and you're saying, take a look at the props for a knockout as well, right?
Yeah, I'm looking that up right now. And while I'm looking it up, I'll also tell you my other play is on Chase Sherman. It's a heavyweight fight. He's fighting Andrei Arlovsky, who is 42 years old and taking the fight on short notice. Sherman got cut by the UFC in 2018. He had a couple losses. He took the fights on short notice. He went down to the regional circuit. He got 3 first-round knockouts in a row. UFC signed him again, signed him for a short notice fight in Jacksonville last start of the summer. I think it was in May. And he got a second-round KO win. Arlovsky's 42. He's taking it on short notice. Sherman is an even money underdog. There's even a plus 105. I see at one book. And so I like Chase Sherman. And then Jeremy Stevens, he's still at 125. A couple of books have him at minus 120. And as I'm looking up the prop here for him to win by KO, wow, we can get anywhere from plus 250 to plus 300 return. But for money management purposes, Stevens minus 125 is the big play. And then just get a little baby play on him to win by knockout for plus 250 or better.
Yeah, I like that a lot. As somebody who, honestly, I don't know much about these fighters in particular. So, yeah, I mean, I'm riding with you on that. I think I'm going to play that exactly, the money line, so to say, for him to win, and then a little bit on that prop as well. So let's just use that and go right into our next segment, the Friday Parlay, everybody's favorite part, right? So first off, Danny Whitson, what's up? Welcome in, obviously, every single week. We appreciate you, man. You jump in the chat every single time. We love it. Encourage everybody else to do the same if you can. Let us know what you're betting on this weekend as well, because, again, I mean, it's all about the community here. So let us know what you're riding, and if you like our picks, hate our picks, it doesn't matter.
Let us know.
Yeah, I've had a brutal week. I'm going to be honest with you. It's one of the worst weeks that I've had legitimately since Tennessee, sports betting has opened last November. It's been brutal. So I've been trying to dig myself out legit the entire damn week. It's been tough, man. So I say that to say this, the Friday Parlay. Brian, you're going to save us all. What do you got going, man? What's your parlay?
Well, I had a tough night last night. I went 0-2. I went 2-1 on Wednesday in just all NBA is all I've done. But So here we go. Tonight, I'm doing a money line parlay with 3 favorites. We're going to go the Brooklyn Nets minus 800, and they are facing one second here. Come on, NBA odds. Here we go. So Brooklyn is facing Charlotte, and Charlotte is injury-riddled. P.J. Washington, who sprained his ankle Sunday against Atlanta, He's doubtful. Devontae Graham, one of their top scorers, is out. LaMelo and Gordon Hayward remain out. So they're without 4 of their best players. KD and Kyrie are playing. Still no Harden. Blake Griffin is going to rest, but Brooklyn at home against a depleted Charlotte team, that's a given, minus 800. Then Memphis, minus 165. I mentioned earlier the Zach LaVine injury is a crucial one for the Bulls. And the Grizzlies are on a nice ATS run. I thought I looked. Oh, yeah, here we go. 12-3 ATS for Memphis, their last 15. And they're in bounce back mode after Luka hit that crazy buzzer beater to beat them the other night. So Memphis, minus 165 at Chicago. And then let's go Denver, minus 380 at the sorry Rockets. And that 3-teamer will get us only plus 128, but we can risk 100 and get 128 and 23 cents. And all 3 of those prices were from our good friends at BetMGM. And I'll note that I noticed that their money line prices were cheaper than most of the other books, if not all of them.
Nice. All right. I mean, we always like that. I'll go with a 3-legger myself. Now, let me say this. If anybody hears this and you think, all right, maybe I don't want to do all 3 of them, feel free to pick and choose. I think if you drop it down to 2, it's somewhere around plus 230, 235, so around there. But the 3-leg that I have, it's plus 595. I'm going with the Pacers and Jazz under 233.5. Now, I will note, I took it last night, this game individually. At the under of 235, it's dropped 1.5 on that total, but I'm still going to ride that. I think we're looking at around 222, 223 of where this game comes in at. So I think you've got some value there. I'm going to ride
that game. Sorry to interrupt you. That game's tipping off any minute now. That was an early one.
Good call.
So.
Great call. Yeah. If anybody's getting on it. Yeah. And I'll go fast then. I've got the Heat minus 6.5 against the Timberwolves in Minnesota. And I've got the Knicks plus 6 at the Dallas Mavericks. So those 3 right there, plus 595. Good eye in terms of that tip. If anybody's going to ride on it, go get it now before it gets going. I want to jump in the chat real quick. One thing, Zach Goodman, you caught my eye here. Let me put it up on the board. The Cubs suck. Go Braves. Take the Braves money line. Was it plus 100? Let me say this. As someone who has been betting the Atlanta Braves a lot recently, they're a fun team. I think that obviously they're going to get much better as the season goes along. It's crazy they're hitting, right? Like you see a guy like Acuna who legitimately can put a ball on the moon at any moment, but I get afraid because he's not really getting much, if all, assistance at the plate, from the other, 8 dudes. And I feel like, we're almost getting to like Barry Bonds status. Like if he keeps just hitting jacks, you know what I mean? Like he's not going to get any support, but I think we're a little far away from that. But it's been interesting betting the Braves because legitimately, Brian, I'm telling you, like, keep this in your brain, and everybody, listening, if you haven't watched the Braves this year, if you haven't bet on the Braves, I swear every single game is in the 9th inning, and it's 5-4, 6-5, like legit, every single one of them, and they're going extra innings too. It's craziness, but they're a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, let me give mine my Friday parlay again. I've got Pacers Jazz under 233.5. I've got the Heat minus 6.5 against the Timberwolves, and I've got the Knicks plus 6 against the Mavs. Brian, quickly run us through what is yours again.
Yeah, so Brooklyn minus 800 at home against the depleted Hornets. Memphis minus 165 at the Bulls without Zach LaVine, and Denver minus 380 at Houston. That's a 3-team moneyline NBA parlay. It only gets plus 128.23. 128.23 if you risk 100. And another thing, we've gotten some COVID makeups, and I guess that's what the deal was with Utah, Indiana, because we don't get day games in the NBA during the week like you get with baseball. These are just, we got one with Brooklyn earlier in the week, and so I'm sure we're going to have some more COVID makeups, so keep an eye on these day games because that's extremely rare for the NBA. It's only because of the COVID makeups.
That's a good call. Yeah, good eye there. And, keep an eye on the games that we do have that are COVID makeups, what they look like. Now, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the answer in every single game, but how does playing during the day on a makeup game, affect a total? How does it affect a team, et cetera? Things like that. Now, what I want to focus on and shift to, Brian, is we're getting back. I love that the NFL is a year-round sport, and we're getting, 2 weeks away, roughly. Yeah, 2 weeks away from yesterday, is going to be the first round of the NFL draft. And what I want to talk to you and everybody, let's discuss this, that the NFL draft is awesome to bet on. And what me and Brian want to do is kind of lay out some picks that we're seeing already that you can get on BetMGM right now with odds. Now, understand, betting the NFL draft, there's all kinds of different ways to do it. You can bet by positional groups, how many, running backs are in, drafted in the first round, over under, 4.5, 5.5, whatever that number is. But there's all kinds of ways to do it. You could bet by team. You could bet by, individual player. If they're the first, person drafted, like at that positional group, like Trevor Lawrence, first quarterback drafted, it's like minus 10,000, right? Like we all see that one. But like you could do it wide receiver, running back, etc. So I say all that to say this. I have 2 plays. And they're a little bit, you're going to see they're both positive numbers. And it's a little bit of, not a stretch, but you got some risk there. But I think that the risk could pay off. So the first one that I'm looking at, Travis Etienne, the first running back drafted, plus 165. I like that a lot. Everybody's going to focus on Najee Harris, but I think Travis Etienne is not getting any love whatsoever. However, that coming week, I have a feeling that he will get more and more. I'm going to roll with that one. If I can get it at plus 165, I like it. Also, in the first round, I'm going with the under of 4.5 wide receivers drafted in that first round at plus 190. So, Brian, you've taken a look. Let me know what you think.
So, excuse me. It's a little chalky, and so I don't really like chalk, but it's only minus 140. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you, and I know I not like that.
No, I love it.
I love Najee. You know I love Najee. I think Najee is gonna be the first running back drafted. So, and I love Etienne as well, and I do think Etienne will go late first. And I'm not gonna be surprised if somebody gets Najee in the top 15. I mean, maybe not. Running backs have not been going very high the last decade, but I think Najee's special, man. And I think Etienne is going to be real good as well. But I'll go Najee minus 140, although I don't like that minus 140 price. But I'm pretty sure he'll go first. But to your point, and you're getting plus 165 odds, which are much better. It only takes one team to prefer Etienne over Najee. And like I said the other day, we were talking NFL draft. I think I'm right in that Najee should be the first running back picked. But if one NFL GM disagrees, whether I'm right or he's wrong or he's right, I mean, the bet would be a loser for me and a winner for you with E10 plus 165.
Yeah, and let me say this. Minus 140, Najee's the favorite for a reason. And 140 is not too he's not too terribly bad. 140 is not a bad price. Like if that's your feel of that's your guy. Like I've seen certainly there's much worse. Like when you go, and again, download the BetMGM app, take a look at what we're looking at right now. They've got a ton of good NFL draft odds, prop odds, bets, everything that you can place. Like compared to other quote unquote favorites, at that position, like 140 is not that bad. Like if that's your guy. So all right. So I interrupted you. Did you have more?
No. Okay. I'm scrolling down and I'm looking, but no, you go ahead.
No, yeah, and that's what I was going to say. And there's going to be a lot more. Obviously, we've got some time before we get to the draft, so we're going to continue to break these down. These are just the first two that really stuck out to me. Again, I think that the draft, it really starts at 3. We all assume Trevor Lawrence is going to go 1, Zach Wilson 2 to the Jets. Even though there could be some surprise there, I mean, pretty much every mock draft expert kind of has that down at number 2, and then it's like where do the 49ers go at 3, right? So I mean that's really where the draft is going to start, right there. Danny Whitson, I see you in the chat. You wouldn't be surprised if no running backs go in the first round. I mean that's an option, right? Like I mean even though we have Najee, we have Etienne, like we've got some good backs in there. Like that's what I do love about the NFL draft is that it is so volatile that change can happen very, very quickly, right? And we were just talking about the 49ers. Like, what if they do not draft a quarterback? What does that do to the top 10? I mean, there's so many different options. There's so many different variables. We always have surprises. So the NFL draft's a ton of fun. And we'll break that, obviously. We'll break that much more down, next week and then the week after leading up to it. But we definitely wanted to get those out there. And if you guys are taking any right now, like you see any draft picks that draft plays that you see that you like, seriously, yeah, let us know. And Danny, you said the first round is going to be quarterback, wide receiver, secondary heavy. That's interesting to me, right? Like, and that's why I'll say this. That's why I took under 4.5 wide receivers in round one. The reason that I took under is this: one, it's plus 190. I kind of like those odds. I'll play it a little bit. But two, this is a pretty heavy slot wide receiver draft, right? And it's pretty heavy cornerback as well. Okay, so I think that you're going to see teams, after you get past like Jamar Chase, after you get past, Devontae Smith, I think you're going to see teams that might wait a little bit, right? Like they don't want to use the first round capital on a wide receiver if, guys like Jamar Chase aren't sitting there. I could be wrong. I mean, who knows? I'm here in Nashville. The Tennessee Titans need a wide receiver or some sort of tight end at some point, right? Like they've got to, add additional weapons after the loss of Corey Davis, after the loss, of their tight end as well, Jonnu Smith. So I'm interested to see how teams play it because there is a lot of talent there. So that's why I'm riding with the under. But again, it's a plus number and it's plus 190. So there's a reason why it's not favorited. Be careful with it. But yeah, that's kind of why I'm riding with it as well. Now, sticking with the NFL, Brian.
Yep.
Here we go. Okay. So today we saw books across the country release their numbers on, total wins this season. Okay.
NFL win totals. Yeah.
Yeah. So I say that to jump in our segment of Let Me Leave You With This. Okay. And these are trends, numbers, data from any sport, anything that we're seeing. I'm just going to use mine and throw mine out there, not to railroad you here, but I'm just going to do it because we're sticking with, I'm just going to stick with the NFL on this one as well. Okay. So we see these numbers come out across the board. And remember, these are based on a 17 game schedule, not 16. So when you see a team like, say, the Titans at 9.5, well, you could almost, kind of, if you're looking at last year, kind of think 8.5, right? Like it doesn't always equate like that, but we're looking at a 17 game schedule with this. So I say all that to say this. Can you name, and we're going to do some trivia with this one, Brian, and have some fun. All right. Over the last 8 years, okay, there are 4 teams that lead the NFL in the amount of overs in their win totals that they've hit. Okay. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
The last 8 seasons, they've hit the over, in their total wins. So I'll give you number 1, the Chiefs. They've hit all 8 times in the last 8 years. Okay. Now, there's 3 other teams. Name me those 3 teams. Name me one of those teams. And they're all good teams, too. Like, it's not anything like crazy surprises. Like, it's teams that you would think that are winning.
And you said they hit their over all 8 years?
No, they've led the league. So the Chiefs are the only ones that have hit all 8. Okay. These have hit 5 or more.
Okay. I'll say Pats.
Yep, that's number 2, 6.
Okay. Then I will go Saints.
Bingo. They're tied for 3 with the other team. You're doing nice on this, by the way. So yeah, Chiefs hit 8 of 8. Patriots hit 6 of 8. Saints hit 5 of 8. And there's one more. It's an AFC team.
Yeah, and I know what division it's from. It's either Baltimore or Pittsburgh. I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
Negative. It's an AFC South team.
Colts?
Titans, 5.
Titans.
Yeah. So the Saints and Titans. Yeah. So I hope I didn't confuse everybody with throwing a bunch of numbers. So in the last 8 seasons, Chiefs are 8-0 to their overs. Patriots are 6-2. The Saints are 5-2-1. The Titans are 5-2-1. So those are your 4 best teams in terms of the last 8 seasons of hitting their overs. And if you look at the Chiefs this year, their number, that came out today is 12. The Patriots is 9. The Saints is 9.5. Titans is 9.5. So I'm not saying that I have picks on them right now. I'm just saying those 4 teams have been the most successful in terms of hitting their overs over the last 8 seasons. So
I like that.
Yeah. Danny Whitson, I see in the chat, he said the Packers. That's a good guess. I mean, if I didn't, literally, sit here and write it out, like the Packers would have been a guess for me for sure. So yeah. So Brian, what you got, buddy?
Okay, so these season win totals came out, and obviously, we still have some free agent stuff, and obviously the draft. So we don't know the whole personnel package that each team is going to have come training camp, but I still see two that I really like already. Now, I don't like the minus 150 price on the Jets, but the Jets under 6.5 and the Jagoffs under 6.5 with Oscar Mayer Wiener as their coach, under 6.5 of the Jags, minus 121. I like both of those unders already. I'll bet them right now, right this second.
You know what? I mean, you got two teams that are breaking in quarterbacks, two teams that are breaking in new head coaches. It's interesting. You being a Florida guy, I thought you'd be all over your boy Urban down there.
I can't stand that son of a gun. I cannot stand him.
I find it funny, like, talking about unders and talking about teams that have had a lot of change. The Houston Texans, I don't have their number in front of me. I think it's like 5.
Here, I think I can get it here. Let's see.
I think it's like 5.5, somewhere around there.
I can't. It is 4.5 where I'm looking, minus 110 either way. I mean, we don't know, but I can't fathom Watson not being on the commissioner's list and I can't fathom him playing this season.
No, I mean, he's at least going to be suspended the first 4 games. I mean, there's already more evidence here than there was against Tom Brady for Deflategate. Like he's going to be now, and here's the other interesting part. Say it's just a 4-game suspension. I don't know if he's coming back to play regardless. I mean, a week before all this stuff broke, I mean, he was destroying this team about how he didn't want to play. So, I mean, I'm not.
Do you think he thought the manure was about to hit the fan in Houston, and that's why he was trying to get out of there so quick?
It might have been, dude. Like, it might have been. And, that's what's so fascinating because it happened so quickly around each other. And, how much did the team know? Like, I mean, it's so fascinating to me.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. If they did know and they didn't trade him while they had the chance, they are morons. But then maybe if they had traded him and knew, maybe the commissioner comes and is like, "Oh, I'm voiding that trade now." So y'all knew about this, and maybe they get punished as well. So I'm sure we'll find out down the line whether they did or not, and it'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be. Now, I'll also say another one that I was looking at with those team totals, the Arizona Cardinals. Like, I think they sit at 8. They're a fascinating team to me. Like, I don't have their season breakdown of of all of who they play. Obviously, they play the NFC West, which is going to be ridiculously difficult. But 8 games, I think it sits at 8. Like that,
it's an 8 minus 110 either way.
Yeah, like that's pretty good. Like
You thinking over?
You
thinking over?
Yeah.
I would lean over. That would be my initial thought there.
Yeah, like just a little bit over 500. Like, I mean, I think this team, let me say this. There is a trend here with Cliff Kingsbury going back to Texas Tech. Their teams start hot, and then they get cool as these seasons go. We got to sell that same thing with Arizona. But, I mean, I like Kyler Murray. I think there's a lot of talent there. I'm going to dig in more on that. I'm not saying take that by any means, but that one stood out to me the most. Now, Brian, we got a question in the chat for you. The Real Ryan 24 asks, Brian, do you have a favorite against the spread or favorite total on a game tonight or only money lines? Thanks.
Yes, and I was ready to get the 2 plays that I have before we check out of here. I like how the Washington Wizards are playing right now, and they are finally healthy with the exception of Thomas Bryant, who tore his ACL in like the 4th or 5th game, which was a shame because he played really good in the bubble last summer. But other than him, they are finally back to full strength. Ish Smith is finally back. Davis Bertans had missed a week or so. He's back. And Bradley Beal had missed 3 or 4 games. He returned with 34 points the other night. They are +3 against New Orleans. Now, the Pelicans do get Lonzo Ball back tonight, but they are still without Josh Hart. And I like how Washington's playing. They've won 4 of their last 5, including a win at Utah. And then the next night, they won by double digits at Sacramento in a back-to-back spot. They're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. And I think Washington Now that they are healthy, they are. I think they could make a push to try to get in that a 10 seed and get into the play-in. I watch out for Washington. I like when Beal and Westbrook are healthy. And now they got all these other parts that are back. Ish Smith's missed most of the season, but he's playing well his first couple of games back. I like the Wizards +3 tonight. I think they went outright. Maybe get a smaller taste of the money line at +130-ish. And I'm going to fade OKC. Now, Detroit is resting a lot of guys tonight, unfortunately, but that's why we can get Detroit at -3. And I like their backup point guard, Vandy guys with the Nashville roots. Saban, I call him Baby Amp Lee, son of the legendary FSU running back. He's played well this year. He'll get a lot of minutes tonight. The Pistons are 13-11-1 against the spread at home. But here's the big thing. The Thunder have lost 8 in a row, and they've all been by double digits, and they've been by the following margins: 38, 10, 24, 27, 11, 24, 48, and 37. They are taking pimp slaps, and we're getting Detroit, who won 132-108 at OKC about 10 days ago. We're getting Detroit at home -3. Let's go with the Pistons and the Wizards. Those are my 2 plays I like.
That was nice, dude. Like, I wish that I had a buzzer for like anytime that you give like a watch out for Washington. Like that's a t-shirt and 2. Like I wish I could hit a buzzer and just like lights and stuff just start going off. No, that was a great breakdown, man. I appreciate that. We all do. Real Round 24. I hope that helped answer your question. Now, before we go, I've got one more trivia question for you, Brian, for everybody in the show.
I love these.
I love it. I know. So here it is. There are 2 teams in Major League Baseball that have yet to lose a series this season. Name those 2 teams. And I'll give you a hint.
I haven't been following baseball, so I'm not going to get this.
That's what I was going to say. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
They both wear blue.
See, I might say a team that's in the cellar because I just don't follow them. I can work with the blue here, huh?
Yep.
So hold on, my options are like Yankees, Mets, and Rangers. I can only think of the Yankees, Mets, and Rangers wearing blue at the moment, or Blue Jays.
So I'll take you off the hook here. All right, I'll get you off the hook on this leg. The 2 teams that have yet to lose a series this season: the Dodgers, the Royals. So, yep, the Dodgers and the Royals, the only 2 remaining. So keep an eye on those 2 as we go along. If you're doing some individual betting on Friday games, Saturday games, Sunday games, whatever. Yep, that's exactly it. And yeah, we had some nice guesses. Look, everybody knew. Well, not everybody, but some knew. I like it, man.
Let me address Zach Goodman, my man.
Yeah,
I have not lost my mind. I don't know what mock draft you have Najee, seeing Najee going late second. But look, running backs, you never know, man. The NFL teams do not value them as much as they used to. But the over-under, I know at DraftKings, and our friends at BetMGM will have some over-unders. They just don't have them yet. But our DraftKings has Najee's over-under at 29.5. So there's actually a line to bet that is not late second round. I'm not calling you out, Zach. I'm just correcting.
No, I like Zach. I like Zach coming right out with it. Hey, have you lost your mind, bro?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like be direct, Zach. All good, brother. All good.
He's awesome. Well, that's all the time that we have. We sure do appreciate everybody. And again, let us know on Twitter, what picks that you're playing tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, what you've got. Where we're right, where we're wrong. And again, we appreciate everybody. Seriously, I'm telling you, we really do appreciate everybody watching, supporting the show, being in the chat. Like, it's all about the community. We want everybody to do well. And again, it takes everybody. So let us know what you're playing, because I'm telling you, I see you guys on Twitter and I ride a lot of your picks, and especially a week that I've had. This week, I am writing a ton of you guys' plays, but we really do appreciate it. We appreciate BetMGM, A to Z Sports, obviously, as well. So, for Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com, I'm Alan Bell, CBS Sportsline. Appreciate you guys, girls, and let's cash some tickets.
Good luck, everyone.